All right, Jay, I know it's a road game, but it's always kind of a bit of a homecoming for you when you come here. What was it like just to be able to see family and friends?
Yeah, I mean, Detroit will always have a special place in my heart. Obviously, was part of a great organization and was able to win a Stanley Cup here, and a lot of familiar faces around the rink. But I know that we're here for 2 points that are on the table tonight versus a really good Detroit Red Wings team. That's where my focus is.
Jay, can I ask you a follow-up to
Sure.
that? Just holding the Stanley Cup, winning it. Can you? I don't know if you can kind of walk us through what that feels like. What so many kids dream of, and you had a chance to do.
Yeah, obviously, anybody involved in hockey, the dream is to win the big silver trophy, and it was a dream come true. I can tell you, we had some really good hockey teams during my time in Detroit. My first year, I think we had 126 or 128 points. We were upset by the Oilers in the first round. The next year, we lost in the third round to Anaheim, and then we're finally able to get it done with a great team in 2008. And for me, I was just telling my friend here that set the basis for me as a coach, was to see what these players went through on a daily basis to achieve their dream, and see what our coaching staff did to achieve the dream. But it didn't happen overnight. It was a 3-year process, and I'm thankful for that experience because it certainly shaped me as a person and as a coach.
How do you think your team's traveled coming out of the All-Star break, just to kind of regroup and kind of get back to that form that you guys were in before the break?
Yeah, well, you know what, I thought for me, we had 2 really good practices in Edmonton, and our leaders wanted to make sure that happened, and they flew back from Florida to Edmonton with the intent on making sure that we were ready to go in this next segment, to make sure those practices were good ones. We had a good travel day yesterday, and like I said earlier, we understand the opponent, what their strengths are, and we know that they're going to give us everything that we can handle tonight.
Just kind of going back to your time in Detroit, those Detroit teams kind of set the standard for excellence in the NHL during that era. Did it kind of just give you a view of how a team that's that caliber has to play and has to preparing you for your coaching career?
Yeah, wasn't I a lucky guy? I got to be around guys like Chris Chelios and Steve Yzerman and Brendan Shanahan in my first year as the lowest man on the totem pole of that coaching staff. And then I saw the team get transitioned over to guys like Nicholas Lidstrom and Pavel Datsyuk and Henrik Zetterberg and all the work that went into it. I would also say that coach's room for me was a special one because all 4 people in that coach's room went on to become head coaches in the National Hockey League. And certainly a lot of my beliefs were shaped by those players and those coaches. And as I said, as a young man with his first job in the NHL, what a special thing and fortunate thing for me.
Different system because it was pre-cap or not full cap.
No, it was the first year of the cap. First year of the cap.
So here's where I'm going to go with this.
Yeah.
Those teams had depth.
Yeah.
And for the first time in the last 6 or 7 years, your team has a plus goal differential without McDavid and Draisaitl on the ice. Can you maybe speak to sort of what you're seeing with some of the impact with some of the younger players that's allowing you to have maybe greater confidence or illustrate the depth that you've got throughout the lineup right
Yeah,
now?
I think we're getting contributions up and down the lineup, not only from forwards but also D-men. For me, I think that speaks and is a credit to the work that our scouting staffs have done in identifying players that can take some of the load off some of our high-end players. Anytime you can get offense from guys like Klim Kostin, Ryan McLeod's tracking really well, especially post-Christmas. Hyman is having a career year. Nuge is having a career year. Anytime you can get contributions like that and spread the wealth offensively, makes for a difficult opponent to match up against. It makes for a difficult opponent to pre-scout against, and it makes us a better team. I think we're going in the right direction. I still think there's more there, but as I said, we're going in the right direction.
We were roughly at the same point as last season when you took over the team. Can you use that little bit of a run as a blueprint for what you guys need to do for the last 32 games, or is it just entirely a different year?
I think it's a different year, and you're in the coaches or in these media conferences every day. I keep talking about just taking care of what's immediately in front of us and putting our focus on our day-to-day process. For me, what's immediately in front of us is a really good Detroit Red Wings team, and we better make sure we have our A game tonight. And if we do that, I think all those other things take care of themselves.